everybody, and welcome back to Midnight Mumble Podcast Edition, episode number 19. I am your host, Kay.
And I am your co-host, Durman.
Yay! We are back and ready for more fun stuff.
Oh yes,
I think.
all of the fun stuff.
Are we prepared for this? I don't know.
We shall see.
So, what's been going on with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. Working. That's pretty much it. I mean, this last week I've worked more than I have the last couple of weeks before that.
Huh.
So, mostly working.
Boo.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of that. And then I've done some other stuff too.
Oh yeah?
I've been very active this week.
Fantastic.
I've been watching anime. I've been playing games. Although the majority of one game that I've been playing is one that just sits there and idles and collects me coins. So it's free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna tell them what it is, or?
It's called Clicker Heroes. Apparently you could play it on your web browser, but I go through Steam. So it's told me how many hours I've done with the game, and I've done 124 hours.
Of course, most of that is just letting the windows sit there while you leave.
It's true, while I sleep, while I'm at work. So it's a game that does it for me.
It plays itself for you, so you don't have to.
Yeah, basically at this point, I'm trying to A, surpass my previous level, and B, trying to get all the achievements on Steam. So
Fantastic.
I'm an achievement hunter.
So, I guess while I've been at work, I've been continuing to listen to audiobooks.
Aha!
Still working my way through the Dresden Files, and I'm trying to decide if I want to keep going with them. Because they have an annoying feature, I guess you could say,
Oh?
that kind of gets to me. You know the old adage, everything that can go wrong will go wrong?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the author has that tattooed on the back of each of his hands.
Oh,
Because
no.
everything goes wrong. And it just gets irritating at a certain point. It's like, oh, okay, this is the plan that they're doing it. Oh, it messed up. The thing that they did to undo messed that messed up too. Oh, this person's getting messed up. Oh, great. Just stop, okay? Just stop.
At one point, it has to go correctly, otherwise there's no ending.
Yeah, it all tends to resolve itself at the end. Apparently, later in the series, one of the books does have a degree of Deus Ex Machina, which is pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina, of course, being basically the gods stepping in and making everything right and dandy in the end. So
That's cheating.
It's an anticlimax.
It's cheating.
But anyway, beyond that, as of this recording, Splatoon for the Wii U came out yesterday. So I picked that up, as well as a couple of amiibos.
I have it too.
Yep, she has it too. She decided to buy a Wii U.
Hey, it was for sale at a really good price.
It's true.
Okay, it wasn't really the Wii U itself that was on sale. It was the games that I wanted that were on sale.
You got good games too.
I did.
Like we have like a lot of crossover. I think all of the games that you have, I have, except for Captain Toad.
Yeah, but isn't that just a single player game anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I want that game.
I only spent $20 for it.
Woo!
Because, buying the Wii. I got the Wii U Deluxe set that came with, what games was it? Nintendo Land and Super Mario 3D World, I think it is. The box is right down there, but I'm too lazy to look.
Super Mario 3D World is a good game.
So it came with those two, with the Wii U. And then they had the deal where if you bought the Wii U, you get a certain arrangement of games 50% off. So I got Mario Kart 8, I got Splatoon, which didn't actually count, but my mom had an ad that they price match. So the ad was like, hey, it's only $49.99. So I'm like, I'll choose that. And then I got the little water gun to go with it, too.
Nice.
It's so cute. I don't have it with me. Then I got Super Smash Brothers and Captain Toad. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All the games.
So yeah, I played some Splatoon yesterday and got up to level 6
Ooh.
online. And I also played the first, I guess, chapter of the single-player thing.
Does that level you up, or is it just the multiplayer?
It's a separate thing. Like, you've got upgrade... You've got, like... You collect, like, fish eggs, and those are your currency for buying upgrades in the offline. And in the offline levels, there are these little, like, Octaron, or whatever they're called, like, plan pages for their, like, secret technology things. So when you collect those in the offline, like, the single-player mode, you can take those to the store to buy the online weapons, and they will give you new weapons. So you can unlock tweaked weapons for the online mode in the offline mode.
Okay. Yeah, because apparently my mom plays it. She played it when they had the demo test and stuff. So she liked it, but now that she gets to play it, everybody's so high level and she's not. So it's not like a balancing thing where they...
Well, for one thing, it doesn't... The matchmaking thing is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
They need to make it so it finds people of a similar level. But at the same time, the levels don't mean a whole lot.
Just
because,
the weapons, right?
Well, it's a matter of, like, how much you play. You could be really bad at the game and play a whole lot and still be a high level. Because it's just a degree of how fast you level. Now, that being said, when I was playing, there was somebody who was level 15 when I was level 5, and I stopped playing with that group of people because they were too good. Part of it was that they had a power-up which was not cool.
Oh?
You could basically call in an airstrike.
Oh, no.
Anywhere on the map.
Oh, jeez.
And it does a whole bunch of ink coverage. It is not cool.
It's like OP.
It is pretty OP.
Like, I'm going to win the game now. Airstrike!
Exactly.
So yeah, I haven't opened mine up yet. I want to try theirs before I play mine. Just to see. So if I don't like it, I could just take it back.
It's a good game. If you like shooters.
See, that's the thing. I kind of do, kind of don't. Like, I like the way that they've done this one, so I'm hoping. We'll see.
It's kind of a simplified shooter, so
yeah.
It's fun. I like it. Splat roller FTW.
It's really cool. It's just splat.
Yes, it is fun.
It looks like fun.
Though, the beginner weapon that you get is like an Uzi sort of thing. I was doing surprisingly well with it.
Really?
Like I was like, oh great, I have to use this thing. It's going to take me forever to level up. And then I started using it. I'm like, actually, this thing's really good.
Huh.
It's just a matter of technique.
Practice makes perfect. That's what it is.
That and tactics.
So I haven't even gotten to play my Wii U because I got it yesterday, and then we got back and I had to go to work. But I left work early, and I didn't even set it up or anything. I was goofing off around. So.
Yep. So you got home and goofed off instead of opening up your shiny new thing.
Yeah.
And then this morning, you were browsing the internet instead of setting up your shiny new thing.
Actually, no. When I texted you, I just woke up.
Oh.
So, I hadn't been awake that long. So, I mean, it's out of the box. It's set up. I'm just waiting for stuff to charge.
Aha.
Yeah.
You could, have the controller plugged in and still turn it on and whatnot.
I know, but I'm one of those people where it has to be fully charged, ready to go before I use it. Like, after that, yeah, sure, whatever. But no, beginning, it has to be perfect. It has to be done just right. If not, then
okay.
It's all chaos.
You do that.
I am. I'm doing it right now.
I can see.
You can't, because it's on the table. You can't see that. You can
I
only
can
see
pretend.
Me. Ah,
Don't
no.
ruin my dreams.
I will ruin your dreams as much as I please. I'm a dream crusher. Crush those dreams.
So I guess that's all of the exciting new stuff.
For the most part. Oh, I got an amiibo. Because, you know, that's still a crazy thing, and I'm hooked. But I got the Charizard. I'm holding it up like you guys could see it. I feel bad now. Ah, good for you. You've already seen it, though. You've seen him in the box, and now he's out of the box. Oh, I know, right? And then Amazon was doing that stupid thing last night. Well, I was at work, of course, because that's the only time they ever do these sort of things.
I was playing Splatoon. I kept looking at Twitter, like, hey, look, that's going up. Whatevs.
Yeah. See, the ones that I wanted were Lucina and Robin. Lucina, there was no chance. Like, I didn't even see it go up. It was just gone. But Robin, I ended up, like, the last few minutes, like, right when it, you know, popped up, I had to go do something, so I was off my phone. And when I get back, I'm like, no! But my mom was watching it for me. I thought my brother wanted Robin. Apparently, he just wanted Lucina. So she's like, hey, look! I got you one! I'm like, yes! So
Hey, she got you a Robin? Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for that to come in the mail.
See, I kind of want Lucina. If I can find a Lucina, I'll get Lucina. But I'm not going to look that hard. I would rather have a Marth than a Lucina, and I don't think that's going to happen either.
I want them both.
But we'll see. I mean, Nintendo has started... Like, originally they were just going to, you know, make them once and then be done with it. But now it's becoming very clear to them that people want these things and are willing to buy them. Mm-hmm. So they have said that they want to make it so that all of them are available in the future. But we'll see how that goes.
They should just do an online store, the Amiibo store, and then, you know, buy what you want.
And they could even do it, like, by order.
Yeah.
Like, you could say, okay.
If you don't want to waste product, do that.
Say, okay, order these things. After we get this many orders, we'll do a production run.
Yeah.
And then they'll go out as soon as they're ready. Exactly. And it would take, you know, probably a couple of months for you to get your amiibo, but you'll get your amiibo.
Exactly. And you won't have spent like $100 on a little villager or, you know, the ridiculous amount of money that it costs.
Yeah, there are ways to do it, but at the same time, Nintendo... It is a little out of touch. And you can kind of get that in Splatoon because it sounds and looks like it's straight from the 90s. Like, everybody's dressed like, you know, modern-day hipsters, but they use 90s speak. Like, oh, we won't let you shop in this shop because you're not fresh enough.
Nintendo's stuck in the olden 90s. That's funny.
And the song, even, like the Squid Kid song, which is super annoying, sounds like it's from the 90s. Like, I listened to that and I'm like, okay, is a commercial for Crossfire coming next? How about a Spirograph?
I had one of those.
Spirograph!
Those things were fun.
Yeah, I wanted one. I think my grandma might have had one. I think I recall messing with it once or twice.
It was fun.
Anyway, so that's the Nintendo Minute.
Yay! Welcome to the Nintendo Minute. It's gone. Sorry. Just like your amiibo you wanted.
The Midnight Mumble Nintendo Minute.
Oh, snap! We even have a little introduction. It doesn't sound 90s enough. Has to sound like a sitcom. That sounds familiar.
Seinfeld.
Aha! I knew it.
So, I guess we should probably get on to the main topic for the day.
Which is
board games.
Board games.
Bird games.
Your niche. So, the funny thing about board games is he knows all the really cool, more nerdy ones. Okay.
Modern is the word you're looking for.
Okay. The ones that you only see at like comic book stores usually or online.
Hmm. Because
Which is
they're
a
modern.
shame. It's a shame though, because some of them are really fun, or at least they look like fun.
Hmm.
Because
They are.
I watch tabletop every so often.
See, the problem is that people in general are averse to buying new things
Mm-hmm.
they don't know about. So big box stores will only very rarely get the newer, less tested, I guess you could say, games because
Ah.
they don't know if they'll sell.
Mm.
At the same time, they'll get hundreds of copies of Monopoly and Connect Four because they people know what they are.
Yeah, they're like, oh hey, I remember playing this as a kid. Although Monopoly, it was just very tedious and
It
aggravating.
still is. It's a really bad game.
The only cool thing about it was the little pieces that you would argue about who gets what. I always liked the
I'm
top
the
hat.
I'm the battleship.
I like the top hat.
I like the battleship.
I like Battleship too. That was fun because I got
Battleship is at least an interesting game.
it's fun, and I nowadays since I don't have anybody to play it with, I've got the Hoyle board games software. So
Hmm.
I love that thing because you can make your own little character. You could use coins and points and stuff to buy stuff for your background, and then you could fight like aliens and T-Rexes and horribly stereotypical cowboys and stuff like that.
Woo!
It's funny though, because you can like talk back at them and stuff. I don't know, throw pies in their face, but it's fun because I've discovered like little strategies here and there of what's best with Battleship against the CPU.
See, if I want to play a game where I throw pies in people's faces, then I'll play Three Stooges for the NES. Thank you very much.
No, it's like a sore loser button thing on it, like under the CPU guy. There's
Mhm.
the little smiley face where you could be like, "Oh, I like you. You're nice." And they'll be like, "Oh, why? Thank you. I like you too." And then there's also the angry button where you could be a sore loser and talk back at them and eventually throw a pie in their face.
Of course.
It's funny though, because I used to play that all the time on my Windows XP, and when I got the new computer, I'm like, you know what I miss? I miss Hoyle board games. I'm gonna find it. So I found it, and I bought
Fantastic.
it, and I play it.
There you go.
It's funny though, because you still have to have the disc to play the game.
Should probably find a crack for that so you can play it without the disc.
It's not so bad, because I don't play it that often, just often
Mhm.
enough, where it's worth the price that I paid. It wasn't that expensive.
So, video games is what we're talking about now, apparently.
No, this is board games.
Board games!
On the computer. So I could also talk about Ticket to Ride if I wanted to.
It's true.
Because you could play that on your computer. And you could play it with another person, which is what we've done.
Uh-huh.
And I like it.
Well, yeah, for a while we were playing Ticket to Ride online with the official game,
Hmm.
which is it's a fun game. I mean, I've only played a few rounds of it. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but I like it.
I like it too.
Basically, it's a hand building sort of game.
Mm.
You need to get basically you get tickets, and you need to connect places on your board, which is a map of the United States,
Mhm.
with your color of rail line, so that you can fill up your tickets. So, like, say you need to get from New York to Chicago, you need to connect the dots with train cars so that you connect from New York to Chicago, and that completes the ticket, and that gets you points.
Yep.
And then, like, you need to get a hand of the correct color of train line to connect the two areas, and you need to have the right number of cards to do it, and you have to do it all at once.
Because it's a variation of, you need like 5 of red or 2 of whatever. And you have to match the colors with the little cards that you get in order to set your train down and make your little line.
Mhm.
It's fun.
And yeah, it
It's a strategy.
very easy, and it is, they say, a gateway game to bring people into the wider world of board games.
It's true.
Because there are a lot of board games out there nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yeah, that's a fun one. Recently, a friend of mine got Dead of Winter,
Ooh.
just sort of a zombie survival game. So there's a scenario that you're playing, and you have to, beat the scenario.
Hmm.
But everybody also gets a hidden role card, and that has sub conditions for you to try to achieve.
Ah.
Sometimes somebody is a traitor,
Da da da.
and they're in it for themselves,
Oh
and
no.
you have to do certain things to sabotage people.
Ah.
But in the end, well, also there are, zombies going around, and you have to get food for people. But the coolest feature of the game is the crossroads system.
Oh.
Basically, there's a deck of cards, and they're the crossroads deck. At the beginning of every player's turn, the previous player draws a crossroad card and then reads what it says. Sometimes it's something that pops up right away. Sometimes it's something that has conditions that, if something is on the board right now, then this thing goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, if the player whose turn it now is does something very specific during their turn, this card triggers.
Oh. Oh.
So it adds this extra layer of this sort of stuff can happen if you do things just right.
That
and
is
I
cool.
love that.
That is cool. Like a little something extra.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Plaid Hat Games is the company that made the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're currently working on another Crossroads game, which
Ooh.
takes place in a sci-fi universe. So I'm looking forward to that because I hate zombies, but I love this system.
Finally, something you can get into without going, zombies.
Exactly.
There's so many zombie things.
I know. But anyway, so that's a very fun game.
Mm-hmm. I've got like some of those board games on my Amazon wish list from watching the tabletop episodes. So I'm just looking at them. One of them is Ticket to Ride. And then there's another one which is called Munchkin Deluxe, which has, a whole bunch of the set.
Mm-hmm. I have. So you should take a look at some of the other types of Munchkin, because I have 3 copies of Munchkin. I have Munchkin Cthulhu, which is, Cthulhu stuff in Munchkin.
Mm-hmm.
I have Star Munchkin, which is the sci-fi Munchkin. And I have Munchkin Booty, which is the pirate Munchkin.
There's a Munchkin Pathfinder.
Yeah, there is.
Holy cow.
It uses,
there's a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm looking
There's,
through them right now.
Let's see, there's Munchkin Legendary, there's Munchkin, there's the Good, the Bad, and the Munchkin, which is,
Ooh,
like Old West.
Super Munchkin. That's going on my wish list.
There's Super Munchkin.
There's Munchkin Booty. Munchkin Zombies. I should totally get that one so we could play it together.
Ick. Yeah, there are plenty of different Munchkins.
Star
There's
Munchkin.
actually...
Have you seen this one? Star Munchkin, the Clown Wars.
I have that. It's an expansion pack.
Nice. Spaceships. Jesus.
Spaceships.
There are so many. I didn't realize there were so many. Holy cow.
Yeah, there are lots of different types of Munchkin.
Oh my
And the best
goodness.
thing about it, all of those different types of Munchkin, if you want to, you could shuffle all of them together and still play.
That is fantastic.
There is a way in Munchkin to be a mutant.
Whoa. Stop blowing up my brain. Ah. Wow.
So,
There's so many.
yes, lots and lots of Munchkin.
Holy cow. There's so many. I feel like
But anyway.
at this point I should just like find the wiki and just scroll down. There's just so many.
Okay, there's also a game that's coming out this year that I'm going to buy for you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. 'Cause
Ah!
I know you'll love it.
You jerk. I want to know what it is. Now everybody else is going to want to know what it is. How dare you? Evil man, you. Love you.
Love you too. Oh my. So,
There's
anyway.
so many. I'm still trying to get over how many munchkins there are.
Trying to wrap her head around the
I can't. I
munchkins.
can't. I didn't realize there were so many. I thought there was like, all the expansions, which I knew about, and then, some of the other ones. I didn't realize there were like so many of the other ones. I mean,
I
the
also have
zombies one has like
I also
four.
have Munchkin Blender, which was a little set that is specifically used for mixing 3 or more different types of munchkin together.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
Okay, that's not a munchkin. What are you doing in this list? Conan the Barbarian for munchkin?
Yep.
What?
So let's see. There are Let's see, what else have I played recently? Well, my most recent board game purchase, I believe, was Tales of the Arabian Nights, which is a fantastic board game. At least I think so. You basically you have to play it just to be along for the ride. It's a choose your own adventure board game.
Oh, that one.
Yes, it's you start off with a character and a few skills, and then you go off and you have encounters. And the encounters are random. You've got a great big book that you look up the encounters in and have somebody read them to you, and they say, "Okay, this is what you see and these are, your choices. What are
Yeah.
you going to do? Do you have this skill? Okay, if you have this skill, then you can do this." And you go on and you get story points and destiny points. And once you get up to a certain number of those, then you go back to the starting point and then you win. So it's a really fun game just to see what happens to you. It can be kind of annoying because it's not always obvious what skills will affect what, or what choices you make will be affected by what skills.
Ah.
Because it can be like, okay, I have handle animals, or something like that. Wilderness lore. I have wilderness lore. So
Ah.
I'm going to do this choice because it has to do with wilderness. And then you follow the choice and it says, okay, do you have piety? No? Okay, you get the bad choice. Thanks, game.
Love you too. Oh, well, I can get rid of some of these Wii U games from my Amazon wish list.
Somebody's getting sidetracked.
I am not. I'm listening to you too. Whatever you were talking about. I was looking at my board game wish list because, unlike you, I haven't had the opportunity to play the modern games. Except for Ticket to Ride.
It's true.
I'm more of a casual board gamer.
Like, what do you play?
I enjoy playing the typical arrangement, like Connect 4. That one's fun. But the problem with the board games is you need more than one person to play with, and I live by myself now, so there's no one to play with. And I can't just say, hey, Mom, let's play board games, because she does stuff, and then I have to work, so... The best time to go over there is whenever my dad's working. That way, we have time to chat and stuff. And she doesn't want to hang out with him because he's not there. He's at work. So, but that's usually when I'm working during the weekday.
Well, fortunately for you, I have a number of two-player board games.
Good. Excellent.
It's called Planning Ahead, folks.
Yeah.
So, let's see. A friend of mine has a copy of Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Ooh.
Which is another really cool game. And it is basically... I keep saying basically. It's annoying me.
It's your catchword.
Apparently so. It's a sort of haunted house mystery sort of game.
Ooh.
So you play through the game, and you keep having these events, and the board is sort of randomized. Like whenever you go through a doorway, you place down a tile, and that shows you what room is next, and you have to keep doing that. And these events keep happening, and when the events happen, like when omens show up, they're one of the types of events.
Oh.
Then you roll on this haunt meter, and if you fail the roll on the haunt meter, then the haunt happens.
Whoa.
And then the omen that just came up, along with whatever item you just got, tells you what the big story is. So like I had one time where there was a werewolf, like one of the people, like one of the players just like becomes the traitor basically. So we had one person become a werewolf. We had one time where aliens came down and possessed somebody. We had one time where there's like this massive swarm of bats just appeared,
Huh.
started attacking. So like all these different things can happen. It's really cool.
Interesting.
So it's a fun game. I like that one a lot too.
I think it's
Also, yeah, another different type of game that I quite like, Galaxy Trucker.
funny. Oh.
Galaxy Trucker is a roguelite board game. Basically, again, you put together a spaceship
I
with
should
all
have-
these tiles.
I should have a counter that just ticks off how many times you say that word.
Uh,
Basically. 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 Basically.
shh, shh, shh. Anyway, so you take tiles out of the center of the table and you have to flip them up, and you have to do this quickly because you're timed. You have to make a spaceship out of all these different bits,
Ooh.
and they all have to connect properly, or else you have to throw them out. And once you have your ship put together, then you start going to the edge of the galaxy. You're shipping all of this stuff to the edge of the galaxy. So while you're doing that, you draw. Well, at the beginning of the bit where where you're flying out, you draw cards off of these decks, and these are event cards. So you have these events one by one, and sometimes it'll be a planet that shows up, and you can gather materials off the planet that you can sell at the end of the round.
Ooh.
Or other times it'll be like an asteroid storm, and everybody has to fight the has to defend from the asteroids and hope that they don't get hit. So yeah, it's just sort of a randomly generated thing that happens every time, and then at the beginning of the map you go back and you build a new spaceship. It's pretty cool. It's one that I quite like. Unfortunately, my tabletop gaming group doesn't much care for it.
Ah.
Yeah, it's lame.
I'll try it. It sounds like fun. Plus,
I
it's
think-
a roguelike. I love roguelikes.
I think you'll like it. You just have to put this ship together and whatnot.
This is my ship. It is called the Titan.
Then you play a number of rounds, and each round your ship gets bigger.
Oh.
You have a board that has a grid on it that shows you the shape of ship that you can make.
Yeah.
And the idea is to fill up that as fast as possible and as thoroughly as possible so that you have a big ship. Because you need it to be as big as possible.
I've been yawning over here for like 5 minutes, and he just finally yawned.
Yeah,
He was fighting it.
it's a good day for being tired.
Well, it's been cloudy and stormy and cloudy and stormy and cloudy and stormy, so it's just like, And last night it didn't rain, but like early this morning I woke up and it was storming out. I'm like, really? Really? We were so close. It's just...
Another board game which is a lot of fun that is very, very easy to play. King of Tokyo.
Oh, I
or-
want to play that one.
Or its sequel, King of New York.
I was watching. Did we watch that episode of Tabletop together?
We did.
I'm going to reference that a lot because that's my only connection to modern games.
It's true. See, when you come visit up here, we're going to play board games. Like, I'm going to see about getting my friends over on Wednesday, and we're going to play board games.
Yay! It's funny though because he brought some down on his visit down here and we didn't play them.
Nope,
We
we
ended
were
up
busy.
watching all of the things.
Yeah.
And
We
then,
watch movies instead of playing games.
yep,
It's easier to cuddle while watching movies
it's true.
because you don't have to worry about somebody seeing your hand. Ah!
Ah, don't look at it.
Anyway, King of Tokyo and King of New
Distractions.
York are very straightforward dice rolling games. You have a handful of dice, you roll them. You choose the ones that you don't like, you re-roll those. If there are still some that you don't like, you re-roll them again. And then you do the actions that are on those dice. Like you get energy points that allow you to buy cards. You get health that lets you regenerate. You get to attack people. And you get points.
Oh,
And the goal of the
points.
game is to get 20 points.
That's cool though, because you could be a monster.
So you're a kaiju attacking Tokyo. And you basically have to...
Ding.
you just have to kill off everybody else or get 20 points first. And that's the game. It was designed by the same person who designed Magic the Gathering.
Really?
Well, one of the designers of Magic
Oh.
the Gathering.
It's so funny. Everybody up at work plays Magic the Gathering, and I'm just sitting there going, I know if I end up starting, I will be broke as all get out because I'm a collector.
Don't.
And don't get a collector to start playing a trading card game. It's the death of them. It's awful.
They say that what you can do if you want to do a low-level Magic the Gathering commitment, you build decks.
Mm-hmm.
You build a deck, you keep that deck, that's the deck you use.
I wouldn't be able to do it though.
See, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of doing that because then you have a deck and then everybody knows your strategy.
Yeah, they'll know your
And
deck
if
and
that's-
everything. You can't.
That's the
change
only
it.
deck that you use, then they'll like, oh, I made a new deck, and then you play against them and, oh, they can destroy my deck easily. That's why they made this deck.
Yeah, because they know exactly what I'm doing.
So that's boring.
Yeah, unless you don't ever play with the same person once, which, come on now. You're going to have friends who play it, and you're going to play with your friends.
The thing that I don't like about Magic is that everybody assumes that you know what all the cards do.
Which
So
is
they'll just be
much.
like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and this, and what are you doing? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Tell me what the cards do.
It's like, cool, that's a
Pretend-
cool card.
Okay, pretend that you're Kaiba and I'm Yugi. And you feel an intrinsic need to say what every card does whenever you play a card.
I'm going to put this card down and do this, that. Oh no! I have a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, completely off topic.
Diffusion is a magic card, making it so that I can split your shining dragon into the three substantial parts.
Blah, 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 blah. Details! I need to get rid of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's so
I
funny,
need to
I've
get
got
rid of my
like
magic cards.
I've got like a whole giant stack. You should keep them and give them to me.
The magic cards?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. But I want them. You should have never told me you had some.
I've got a deck. It's probably not good, but I have one.
I'm not interested in the deck. I'm interested in the cards themselves. This is why I'm not allowed to have a trading card game.
I have a box of approximately 10,000 cards.
See, collection just raised by 10,000 cards. Because I don't ever just do anything tiny. When I start collecting, it just blows out of proportion.
Oh my. So yeah, don't get into Magic. It's too expensive. That's why I stopped playing.
I know it's expensive. Everybody
That's-
up at work will be talking about, oh, I really want this card, but it's like $100. I'm like, what? I want that card so I could sell it to you.
Oh
I
boy.
think that's the only upside to buying like the little sets, is in case you get that one card that you can make a fortune off of.
The booster packs.
Yep. I knew there was a word. I couldn't find the word. Thank you.
Yep, booster pack. Oh. So yeah, I don't do trading card games anymore. Deck building games are okay though. Like I've got a game called Star Realms, which is a 2-player deck building game. Each player starts with the same hand of cards. You've got like what, 8 trade cards and 2 attack cards.
Ah.
And in the center of the board, you've got 4 cards out of the deck and 1 stack of explorer ships. And the explorer ships are like they can do 2 attack or 2 trade.
Ah.
So you use your trade cards to buy cards out of the trade row and put them into your discard pile. And once your hand runs out, you shuffle your discard and you draw more cards.
Ah.
So the idea is that as you play the game, you're building a deck to play the game with.
Huh.
And I like it.
That's cool.
And there are a couple of different games like that, but Star Realms is a really good one because it's pretty simple, yet there's some depth to it. Is an amount of strategy. It's like, okay, I want to buy just the blob ships because if I have the affinity, there are affinities. Like if you play 2 cards of the same type during the same turn, they get extra abilities.
Ah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to get this blob ship and this blob ship because I play them both at the same time. I do massive amounts of damage.
Ha ha. Blah 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 blah.
It's like if I use this red ship, and this red ship, then I can get rid of 2 cards out of my deck that I don't want. Because you can trim out. You can also, manage the deck that you've already made by getting rid of cards that you don't want anymore.
Which is
So
handy.
get rid of all the weak cards, so all your more powerful cards come out more often. Yeah, there are lots of board games out there. Actually, I think this would probably be a good time for the question of the day. We got 1 question in
Oh, 2.
from 2 questions.
We got 2 questions. It's from the same person, but it's 2 questions.
Okay. So, for question 1, what's your favorite board game, and why is it your favorite board game? This is from SimmerPlayer27.
Yay! So, my favorite board game is checkers.
Checkers.
Yep.
See, I don't like checkers because you can force people to make turns that they don't want to make.
Which is funny.
I don't like it. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this strategy, and they're like, okay, I'm going to move here, so you have to take this piece.
Yeah.
Great. There goes my strategy.
Well, you could negate it. Like, I'm going to go back in time. In the Hoyle board games that I play, in the checkers, you can uncheck the thing where it makes you jump the piece that the CPU puts.
Well, see, it's in the rules.
I know. But you
So-
can fudge the rules.
Yeah,
There
but,
was also...
the official rules of the game, I don't like.
Yeah. But nobody ever plays it with me because well, I used to be really good at it. Now, not so much because I haven't played it that much, but I've got another version of checkers. I cannot, for the life of me, remember it, but it involves dice, actually. So the dice are your little checker pieces, and you go back and forth from the board. It's not, you go, you king, and then you're done. No, you go, you get your upgrade. Like the dice it's got like, oh gosh, I don't remember. I don't have it with me. It's like all the way in the other room in the closet. But I think it's called 6 cube dice. But anyway, you move it to the other end like you would in checkers. But when you do that, you upgrade the dice. So you flip it over to another, like a higher number. And now you can move diagonally, or you can move like up and down. So you don't have to follow the color code as you progress the game. It's really cool. I need to figure out what it's called. I think it's cube checkers. It's cube checkers. It's cube checkers. Yeah, there we go. Here, I'll link you to it so you can see it.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, the dice has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I think. But it's really cool. It's really weird. But I got to play it with my mom, and it was really awesome.
But why would a 6-sided die have numbers 1 through 6 on it? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, right? So weird. Like, who does these things? But I have that somewhere.
Suddenly that reminds me of Gothic chess.
Oh?
Yeah, Gothic chess is a chess variant that plays slightly differently, and like the pieces move slightly differently.
Hmm.
Anyway, I guess my favorite board game is probably Lords of Waterdeep.
Ooh.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons based game. That is, it's like themed off of it. Like that's what all the art and all the monsters and whatnot. That's all based off of.
Hmm.
Oh, I can't remember like what Dungeons and Dragons world it's based off of. But anyway, so the game itself is a worker placement game. It's designed for up to 6 players, and the number of players you have determines the number of workers you get to place.
Ah.
The basic goal of the game is to get points, and you do it though, and you get points by completing quests. So you collect quests, and to complete the quests, you need to get warriors and stuff. You need to get people to go on the quests in order to complete them. So you have let's see, warriors, rogues, wizards, and clerics, and you collect these off the board by placing your workers at certain places, and you can also get intrigue cards, which have different effects and do different things. But the very base of the game is just collecting people and then sending them on quests in order to get points.
Ah.
And it's a really fun little game. And the flavor text is nice. Some of the quests are clever. You can buy buildings and build more buildings, so there are more places for you to place.
Ooh.
And if you build a building, somebody else can use it, but you get to profit off of their using it.
Ah.
It's like, hey, if you place your worker here, then you get 4 warriors, but I also get 2 warriors.
Fantastic. It's kind of like making a profit. Like,
Yes,
haha.
it's a fun little game. The only problem with it is that it does have a fair amount of setup and tear down,
Yeah.
which is the problem with the more complex board games, is that they do take time to set up and to put away.
That's true.
So,
I like the ones where you have like little miniatures and stuff. Those are cool.
I like the miniatures, but at the same time, they can sort of detract from the quality of the game itself.
Yeah. 'Cause
And there's
you
like,
get
hey, look at all these awesome miniatures we have. And then you actually play the game, and the game is terrible.
Yeah. So that's when you get rid of the game, keep the miniatures, and use the miniatures on your shelf. Decoration.
Now, there are some games where there are nice miniatures because they're like dungeon crawl games, and like Mice and Mystics is sort of a story-based board game, and the miniatures that come with that are really nice. And it's a good game too.
Hmm.
So, second question. In this world of computer and console games, instant gratification, and high-end everything, do you feel board games still have a place in our society? And why? Nowadays, board gaming is going through a renaissance. There are lots of new board games, and board gaming is becoming bigger than it has been ever before. In fact, it is bigger than it has been, like, say, prior to year 2000.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's big. There are lots of really good board games coming out. Like, you ask most people like to name a couple of board games, they'll think, oh, Monopoly and Clue and
Like those are really old. That
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Monopoly came out like 50 years ago.
Yeah. It's
I have a
it's so
game
popular.
in my basement. Actually, I have 2 games in my basement, both of which are really good, and they came out last year.
Nice.
They're
I think
fantastic.
it's just-
King of New York is better than King of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Is fantastic. Tragedy Looper, fantastic, very story-based game. Awesome. But, I mean, yeah, and there's something that video games and computer games are missing, and that thing is human interaction.
It's true.
Sitting around a table with your friends and playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, and
It's
then
different.
you can get sidetracked and just chat about whatever. There isn't that, you have to keep playing, you have to keep
Yeah.
concentrating.
It's like you can pause and have a conversation or eat or whatever and not, you know.
Because say you're sitting around playing a shooter game, like for example, GoldenEye, and you're playing with that with your friends. Yeah, that's all well and good, but you're all concentrating on your quarter of the screen
Yeah.
because there's stuff going on and you have to concentrate. With board games, it's like when it's not your turn, you can spend a little time, thinking about what you want to do next, but you also, see what the other guy's doing and chat with your friends.
Yeah.
And it's a slower paced, it's more relaxed, and it's fun. And the nice thing is nowadays there are so many board games out that you can find a board game for anybody. It's like,
That's
oh, I
true.
don't like Monopoly because it's too slow. Well, there are lots of other games that are a lot faster and have similar mechanics.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they have moved beyond the roll to move. Rolling to move is stupid.
I'm gonna roll
Say
this. Oh, I can
say
only
you're
move one.
playing Clue. You keep rolling 1. Everybody else keeps rolling 6.
I hate
They
that.
get to move from room to room and find all the clues and solve the mystery, while you're having trouble getting to the kitchen. So rolling to move is outmoded. It's dumb. It okay, games nowadays are much less based on luck and much more based on strategy. They're games where if you think your way through it, you can probably win. Or if you know what you're doing, you can probably win. Or, you can just figure it out the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a game that just came out, I think last year, called Caverna. It is a worker placement game where you're playing as dwarves in an underground city. There are a ton of different things that you can do in that game to get points. And there is no one strategy to the game which is a guaranteed way to win. Like, you can sit in your cave all day and do one thing. And that one thing could win you the game. Or you can go out and do a whole bunch of different things, and that could win you the game.
It's a nice variation.
It's just games where you can do all sorts of different things to win. But they don't rely on you rolling a die and getting enough, movement to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's another game, Settlers of Catan. I'm sure lots of people have heard of it. That game has a degree of luck to it. You're always rolling dice to see what materials show up.
Yeah.
Because you're building settlements around tiles, and the tiles produce resources. And if your settlement has a number that's the same as a tile whose number you roll, you get that resource.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straightforward. So, in that game, yes, you're running off of luck, but it's not just your luck. Everybody's rolling, and every time your number shows up, you still get resources. If it's not your turn, you're still getting resources. So in that one, it's a matter of strategy to place your settlements on numbers that are likely to show up, or alternatively, once you get into the game, see what numbers are showing up on the die, just in this particular case, and build your settlements there in order to profit from it. So, strategy
Yay!
instead of luck.
I don't know. I like the aspect of you have physical stuff to move around, or you've got the cards in your hands and you're all like hee hee hee. I like the physical aspect of it, and like you said, chatting with people while you play the game, being goofy, silly, You could do that in some games like Mario Kart, where you don't have to focus too much unless you're being really competitive, which, happens anyway. But I don't know.
it's a visceral thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I've got this game sitting in front of me. I can see the art, I can feel the cards, I can examine the miniatures up close and see the detail of them.
Mm-hmm. Instead of, oh, cool, I can zoom in and out of this game. Oh, that's neat.
Like,
I can, do this.
I mentioned Lords of Waterdeep. One of the things that makes the game for me is that I got so-called D&Deeples. Instead of having the colored blocks that come with the game to represent the warriors and the paladins and whatnot, I instead have little, like laser etched or laser cut out bits of wood that are shaped like little wizards and clerics and warriors and stuff, and
It's
are
a
painted the
little.
appropriate color.
I like how you can get like really cool stuff to go with some of these board games instead of using like the stuff that they give you.
Yeah, like Agricola. It's a game where you're building a farm, and you can buy little wooden bits that are like, okay, this is a wheat bit, and this is a little boar, and this is a little chicken,
It's so
and whatnot.
cool. Like, how can you not like that? It's a little personality sort of thing.
Yeah, it just, adds flavor to it. Like, even my copy of Munchkin, in Munchkin, your goal is to get to level 10, and once you get level 10, you win. In my copy of Munchkin Booty, I bought a bag of plastic gold doubloons, and I put those in the box, so those are the level counters.
Nice. It's the little things that make a board game better than a video game.
Yeah, it's
just-
fantastic.
So, yeah.
Now, there are, good uh, ports of board games to video games. Like, well, for example, Ticket to Ride was well done. So, like, those things are available. I think Catan would probably work as well, but board games really should just be sat down with and played. And they're good. Like I said, they're...
Yeah.
And you can even, like, go to Walmart.com and buy Ticket to Ride and Settlers of Catan.
You could also buy it on Amazon, or I don't think Target has them.
Well, like I said, it's,
I'm just curious.
Walmart carries these things now, but just not in stores. Like, if you have a big store during, like, say, Christmas time, you might see them. Ah!
I tried to type in the search and somehow I ended up back. Oh my goodness. Let's try that again. I'm curious to see if Target sells these things. Okay, I'll let the page load first. Ah, they do. There's some that are in stores only.
Ah.
Like the board game you could buy online, but they've got the 4th edition, 5 and 6 player extension, unabridged, blah blah blah, compact disc. That was all stock.
Yeah, see, there are a lot of expansions to Settlers of Catan, but I can only really recommend 2 of them. The 5 and 6 player expansion, if you have more people to play with, or I should say, Seafarers of Catan. Because that adds 1 simple mechanic and a couple of things, and it also has a 5 and 6 player expansion. So, because a lot of the other ones, they add a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't like that. I like just the simple, basic Catan. I don't see the point of adding a bunch of stuff to it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now you can build city walls, and people are gonna attack, I guess. And you can build these upgrades, and then you can flip the card, and then they do different things.
Yeah.
It just
So,
makes it more of a slog.
if you type in Munchkin on Target.com, you get a bunch of baby stuff.
Yep, it's
'Cause
true.
that's the brand name.
Yep.
It's funny. Yeah. Board games are awesome. Board games are sweet. And if you guys are like, well, I want to play board games, but I don't have anybody to play with, try checking out your local comic book store. Because I know the one nearest me, they do like weekly game nights. And sometimes they'll do like tournaments and stuff. And if you want, over there, actually, you can try out the board games before you buy them.
It's true. A lot of them will have libraries.
So, yeah, check that out. I think it's cool.
And they're There's a game out there for everybody.
That's true.
There are so many of them now.
They're out there somewhere just waiting for you to pick up and play.
Yep. So is that gonna be it?
I think that's it. Not too much to talk about, but I'm not. You're the only board game connoisseur, if you will.
Yes. The only one out of the pair of us.
Yep. How funny is that? Although, I mean, I've got you on anime and manga, so
It's true.
we each have our own thing. Speaking
Now-
of, I have 2 people interested in co-hosting with us if ever we talk about anime and manga, so
Aha.
that should be fun.
Though on that topic, I probably have more animes and mangas than you have board games.
We'll have to see. Because you'd be surprised. I've got a whole bunch in my closet. I actually have one where I've bought like this motley crew of little dice and game pieces and tokens and stuff. And I have this board that I didn't have like the pieces and stuff for. So I made my own game out of it.
Aha.
It was funny. I haven't done
Fantastic.
anything with it. I don't even remember what the main goal was. I just remember it was kind of like Arabian pirate-ish. It was weird. Like, it's interesting. That's all I remember about it, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a few games.
Okay.
I got a few.
So next week we're going to be changing up our format.
Yes, we are. So
Instead
it's-
of
La, 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 la.
go ahead.
Instead of
podcast.
having, yes, it's mine. Stop taking over. You're just the co-host. He's so mean. But no, instead of doing the weekly theme thing, we're still gonna do weekly, but we're just gonna go for whatever. So you guys can leave questions about whatever you want us to talk about, or have questions about, you know.
If you have topics or questions, we'll take either one.
Exactly. So it's going to be a variety in each episode instead of just having one theme. Because I don't always have something to talk about one thing, and he doesn't always have something to talk about the other thing. So this way,
This episode is very good indications of this.
it is. Because if I go look at the audio waves, yours is probably going to be a majority of it. With my yes and mixed in there every so often.
Yep.
So we're trying to avoid that. So this, I think, is the best idea. So if you guys have a question or a topic about anything, you can leave it in that comment section below.
Footnote: we reserve the right to not talk about things that we do not feel comfortable with talking about.
Well, that's always a given, but you know. Asterisks.
To make sure to add the caveats.
Aha. Make sure you are aware. We have the discretion to ignore your question.
It's true.
We will thank you for it, but we won't answer it. Yeah, I think that is it for this week. Unless
Indeed.
you have anything else to bring up or say?
No, don't think so.
Okie dokie then. So keep an eye out for next week's episode of Varietyness. Leave your question, comment, topic, blah, 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 in the comment section if you want. Or you could tweet at us. The little links are in the description as always. So yeah, thanks for watching, listening, that fun stuff. And as always, see you next time.
Ba-da-da.